What is up, guys? Welcome back. I know it's been a while. I've been busy with daddy duty. And you know what that means? Gotta be a nurturing father. So, been busy with work, been busy with family, but I have been enjoying a little bit of this Genesys format. And I just wanted to showcase you guys my Naturia deck. And I know Naturia Beast is 50 points, being quite hefty for Genesys standard, but the more I thought about it, the fact that you can play the Ishizu stuff and it's only 1 point is crazy. The fact that you can play Foolish Burial Goods is crazy, because you know in TCG it's limited to 1. The Ishizu stuff is limited to 1 each, so being able to play multiples of those is like bringing back full power Naturia. And so I figured, you know, even though Beast is 50 points, why the hell not? So I'm gonna go ahead and do a deck profile for you guys. I went 3-1 at locals, which went very well. I faced Mermail, Primite, Hecahand, and Archmage. Overall, it went very well. The only duel that I lost to was the Hecahand, which I didn't read my cards. I know that they're new, I just haven't taken time to actually know what they do, and I had no idea that their counter trap was absolutely cracked. So, and funny enough, spoiler, I don't have the Kaijus. I don't have any Gamma Seals. I actually don't own any, but I do have these, and I was actually considering playing some Kaijus, but I was like, I should be okay, you know. It's not going to be a crazy big locals, you know. I shouldn't have too much to worry about. But it turns out that I could probably use the Kaiju. So noted. Well, without further ado, let's get right into it. So first things first, we're going to start off with 3 of your Mole Cricket. This is going to be your main starter. It has an effect, Quick Effect, which I'll hold it up closer here. During the main phase Quick Effect, you contribute this card, special summon a Naturia monster from your deck, then you can special summon 2 Naturia monsters if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack on the field. And also, it has another effect where if your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, or you special summon a Naturia monster from the extra deck while this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, so it can reborn itself. And on your opponent's turn, too, and use its effect to bring more Naturias out. It's absolutely amazing, and it is definitely something that this deck needed. Next off, we have 3 Camellia. This is going to be your second best starter. So what Camellia does is a level 4 tuner. When it's normal special summon, you can send a Naturia card from your deck to the graveyard. And if I were to tribute a monster to activate a Naturia monster effect, I can send the top 2 cards of my deck to the graveyard instead. Also, if my opponent normal or special summons a monster, I can special summon a Naturia monster from your graveyard. You can only use each effect once per turn. So there is a lot of good things that you can do with this. Mainly, the main card that you're going to be sending off of this is going to be your Sacred Tree. Because Sacred Tree has the effect where if it's sent, you can search a Naturia card. So this equals any other Naturia card. However, if you open up your Naturia Blessing here, you can dump your Mole Cricket, and then Blessing basically reborns your Mole Cricket, and you can continue to combo. So this is like a 2-card combo if you have Blessing. It's a good way to get into that. Or if you have Mole Cricket, then you can send Sacred Tree to search Blessing, special Cricket from hand. So either way, if you have any combination of that, it's also going to be full combo. Alright. For the next of the Naturia monsters, I'll be a little quicker. 3 Antjaw. I know a lot of people don't even play this, or at most play 1. But it has the effect where if your opponent special summons a monster, then you special summon a level 3 or lower Naturia monster, which is absolutely amazing. And knowing this, if you can't get into your Naturia play, then you can at least just bring this guy out, set a few traps or whatever, and pass. If your opponent does do anything, then guess what? You're popping off. And I'll be doing a couple of test hands to show you what I mean. But Antjaw was absolutely busted. It's not once per turn. And it says a level 3 allure Naturia monster from your deck. Guess what? He's a level 2. So essentially, you could go Antjaw, bring out another Antjaw. And then if they special summon again, then you're going to special summon 2 more Naturia monsters. So this can get nasty very quickly if your opponent's not careful. Alright. Next up, you got Stinkbug, Vane, Sunflower. And I also play 2 Fruit Flies. Now, I know the flower is mandatory. Stinkbug, it's a battle phase ender. If your opponent attacks a Naturia, you can send it to the graveyard in the battle phase. Naturia Vane, not only do I have Naturia Beast, but this is also a spell and trap negate. So in case they're on evenly matched, this can be helpful. If they're on Odeon or anything like that, this can be helpful. It's also a level 1 tuner, which comes up. I've incorporated my extra deck around this card a little bit to make things interesting. And then a lot of people don't know what the hell a Fruit Fly does, but I'll tell you right now, Fruit Fly was the MVP of the whole night. So it has a stacking effect where all face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 300 attack and defense for each Naturia monster I control. And then once per turn, I can select a face-up monster your opponent controls with 0 defense, take control of it until the end phase. That is absolutely amazing. So if you could bring 2 of these out with a full board of Naturia, so like let's say I have this right here, 5 Naturias, that's 1500 attack and defense. That's going to be taken away from every monster my opponent controls for 1. So if I have 2, that's 3k, minus 3k attack and defense for everything my opponent has. Good luck beating over this because it also has 1500 defense. So even with a minimal board, you can still make their monsters lose 900 attack and defense, and it's still not enough to get over these Fruit Flies. And guess what? If their defense reaches 0, then you can double Snatch Steal on your opponent's turn. Or not on your opponent's turn, but on your following turn for the crackback. It's crazy, and it's also a level 3, and there's a special combo that I want to show you guys that I created formalizing this deck idea. Alright. So that rounds it off for the Naturias. Next off, I do play a small Vernisylph package. I only play the Foolish Burial guy, okay? It's Awakened Forest. I didn't play any of the others. I actually may play more. I'm just really debating. I don't want to make it a strict Vernisylph deck because, unfortunately, they have the effect where if you use this effect, you can only activate Earth effects for the rest of the turn. I did think of a play that I could do to make this adequate. I'll show you what I got in mind. But 3 of them, basically, if you don't know what this does, you discard this and a monster or Earth monster. Foolish Burial, an Earth monster from your deck to graveyard, so I can dump my Mole Cricket if I have Blessing in hand or a way to get Blessing. I also can send Redox. Redox. I do play 1 Redox, just as a body to bring out. It's a level 7 which comes up, and you can Foolish Burial it off of this. So I will also show you a combo. It's actually very important that he's a 7, because, spoiler, we play Psychic and Punisher, being 20 points, however it's an 11. So if I'm able to get my Redox and Camellia out, I could just special summon Psychic and Punisher. And people were not expecting that. Alright, we're getting towards the end of the monsters here. I didn't do a crazy big Ishizu lineup. I only did 2 Keldo and 2 Medora. I was going to do 3 and 3 and play the Gravekeeper's Trap, but I thought that was just too much. You know, I wanted to have some non-engine room as well to play around with. So I just kept it 2 and 2. I like them, but I don't at the same time. It's cool, but it didn't come up any for my opponent at locals. It more so came back to recycling my stuff. It's nice that you can bring back your spell and traps in the deck, which I did do quite a decent bit. But I'm wondering if Pot of Avarice would be a better option, because you really want to recycle your Naturia monsters, and I feel like 3 cards just isn't enough. And I don't want to play Exchange of the Spirit or Gravekeeper's Trap because it's just bricks. I don't want to draw that, especially going second, which, if you don't know, Naturia is a going first deck. It doesn't like going second. It can go second, but it's a little tougher, okay? So I only played 2 of each. I may change that in the dynamic of this going forward. Next off, for 3 hand traps that we play, Medora. Medora was 1, 0 points. 2, it's a level 7. And 3, it can negate cards on the field, well, monster cards, and special summon itself. So, with that being said, it came up. You can do some XYZ plays with it if you happen to get Redox out the next turn. Going to a rank 7, you could use it for synchro material, because like I said, Vayne is a level 1, so that if you have this, have Vayne out, and you can go into a level 8 synchro. Also, it's a level 7, so you can go into Psychic and Punisher with Medora as well. So that's all the monsters. Spells, very simple, very easy. I'm not really going to explain much here. 3 Blessing, 3 Map. Map is 0 points. It's a way to search out your Mole Cricket because it has 0 attack. Not only that, but it halves your life points. So with Psychic and Punisher, you gain the difference in attack, or you gain attack points equal to the difference between you and your opponent's life points. So with this halving your life, if you're going second, you're at 4,000, you can have your Psychic and Punisher gain at least 4,000 attack, plus another 1,000 if you happen to have another body on board that you can use Psychic and Punisher's effect to banish it in a card your opponent controls. So this is really cool. This is why I wanted to play Psychic and Punisher, because I know this deck is very linear with their combos and stuff. You know, it's pretty easy to guess what we're doing if you know what the deck does. So just being able to have something to fall onto, like Psychic and Punisher, to kind of make up for that half life point cost, definitely helps. It catches people off guard. It's something I thought about. I was like, you know what? I know Ash isn't a thing, but, you know, if we go Mole and we go Camellia and they affect Valor or whatever, you know, that kind of sucks. So I just want a reason to play Punisher, really. I like Punisher. Next step, 2 Foolish Barrel of Goods. They are 7 points each. With Punisher being 20 and Naturia Beast being 50, you don't have a lot of wiggle room, so I want to make sure, plus Redox is 7 too, so 2 Burial and 1 Redox, that's 21 points. The Medoras are 1 point each, and Keldo 1 point. So already at, I think, 75. Next up, 2 Mind Control. This actually came in clutch against the Mermail player. I drew every game against him, and I opened it, and I would take control of his Abyss Gaius and use its effect to negate his board. It is actually pretty hilarious. He could not believe it. Finally, for the rest of the main deck, we got 3 Sacred Tree and Synchro Zone. Synchro Zone is absolutely crazy, man. It's a 0 point floodgate where only synchro monsters can attack. It also has the special ability where you can synchro summon by sending this face-up card on the field to the graveyard during your opponent's turn. You can synchro summon during their turn, which came up. It also has another effect where if a non-tuner synchro monster is sent to your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters, special summon it, and if you do, it's treated as a tuner. So, Synchro Zone for the win. I'm definitely bumping it up to 3. It was absolutely disgusting. I just might get hollow versions. Now for the goo. This is where the magic happens right here. Give me 1 sec. Coffee break. Hazelnut. So, Psychic and Punisher, Naturia Beast, we all know about. This is the majority of your points right here, but gosh darn it, it's worth it. Being able to negate all of your opponent's spells when they most likely don't have anything to really negate it with, unless they have a kaiju or something of that nature, or a Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre would work. Can't really do much. It won games. Vermilion Dragon Mech is a level 9. This actually came up quite a good bit. It's just a generic rank 9 fun, where I can banish a tuner from my hand, graveyard, or face-up field, target a card on the field, and destroy it. And then if it's destroyed, then I can add a Banish Tuner back to hand. For my level 6 Coral Dragon, of course, generic. Speaking of generic, Formula Synchron. Mole Cricket's a level 1, and also the Naturia Vein is a level 1. So, in case, you burn out of resources very quickly with this deck if you're not careful with what you're doing. So, being able to go into Formula Synchron and be able to draw a card, and then be able to go into something like this here, the White Forest Synchro, very helpful. You can Book of Eclipse your opponent's board, flip everything face down on your opponent's turn, which I actually did quite often with Synchro Zone. Being able to Synchro Zone on my opponent's turn to Synchro Summon is great, considering Naturia Beast is a level 5. We also have Black Rose Dragon. I was able to Black Rose Dragon on my opponent's turn quite a few times. And in case you don't want to nuke anything, you can always go into the Goatee. I found out that the Goatee was pretty nice too, just to have spot removal, just for a banish. You banish it and a card your opponent controls. Pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. It came up alright. So with Black Rose being a level 7, I wanted another decent 7, and I looked through everything I had. Best thing I could find was Michael, the Lightsworn Angel. It actually came up, surprisingly. Being able to pay 1,000, like I said with Psychic End Punisher, paying life isn't as bad. Pay 1,000, banish a card on the field, and then during the end phase, I can send the top 3 to graveyard. So if I mill something like one of my Shizu cards or a Sacred Tree, then that'll just give me more follow-up. For my level 8, I chose Draco Berserker of the Tingy, and I'm running 5 XYZs. For my rank 7, like I said earlier, when you use the Vernisylph monsters, you're locked into Earth effects for the rest of the turn. So if I send Redox to grave, then I can reborn it, paired with Medora here. Since I can't activate Earth effects, I can't activate non-Earth effects. I can't go into like a Draco Sack or a Big Eye, but I don't have to activate anything when I bring this guy out. I can just overlay XYZ, summon this, and then just pass turn. It's a good burn card. It didn't pop up, but I found a new tech that will replace the Heavenly Zephyr, because I found out that Heavenly Zephyr, when it negates a card, it's only negated as long as Zephyr is on the field. And during my match against Mermail, I would Zephyr them, and they would just bounce it back to hand and then just continue to pop off. I was like, okay. Next up, Giant Hand. Traptrix Altimaris, or Alamaris? Yeah. There's a combo in which where you can basically dump your Camellia to grave, overlay, and be able to get Camellia on board that way. It's a good tech. It didn't come up for me. And for my 2 rank 3s, Leviair and Breaksword. Leviair is actually insane, and I did this combo quite a few times, where during my opponent's turn, I'd hit them with the Fruit Fly lock, where they couldn't do anything, right? Hit them with the Fruit Fly lock, they couldn't do anything. I had a Redox engrave, okay, so I'm just gonna say, here's my Redox, there's that, okay. So here's my Fruit Flies on board, paired with probably 1 or 2 other monsters. Here's my Vernisylph, I have a Camellia engrave, I have Redox engrave. So essentially what I could do is I could overlay, right? Go into Sea Dragon, use Redox effect to banish the Vernisylph and Camellia to special summon itself. Now I have the 7 on board. Now I can go Leviair, detach the Fruit Fly, special summon back the Camellia. Camellia effect will send the tree. Tree effect will activate, allowing me to get Blessing. Or I could add Mole Cricket, normal Mole Cricket, use Mole Cricket effect. Like, it just goes on. And that's what I mean. And then I can use these, Synchro Summon, and then get out the Psychic End Punisher. So yeah, that's my little Naturia combo right there that I thought of. And your boy's been cooking, man. Your boy's been cooking. Finally, the side deck. which I almost forgot about. 3 Herald, Orange Light, Purple Light, Green Light. They're all 0 points. Vernisylphs are fairies. The Ishizu stuff is fairies, so why not just add a bunch of fairies with the Ishizu stuff? Why not? Came up quite a bit. I heck a hand. The heck a hand guy, I negated his searcher twice with the Orange Light. Both times having the Ishizu shufflers. It was pretty funny. 3 Twin Twister and then 3 Dark Ruler. I didn't really know what to do for my side deck. I kind of threw this all together last minute, so I was just like, what can I do here? I was like, okay, instead of stressing about it, why don't I just negate and have some back row removal and like some good going stacking cards like Dark Ruler. It came up. I honestly didn't really side in much of anything. I think Orange Light was probably like the main one that I sided in. Other than that, let's do a test hand or two. Alright, we are all shuffled up. Okay, let's see what we got here. Synchro Zone, Mole Cricket, Antjaw, and Map. So honestly, the only thing that really matters right here is gonna be Mole Cricket. You could do a few different things here. You could go Mole Cricket, bring out Camellia, and then use Camelia's effect to go into Naturia Beast. But if you're worried that they have Valor, then I probably would wait. If you want to play it safe, which honestly with this hand, instead of going Mole Cricket for Naturia Beast and losing to a hand trap, I would just normal summon the Antjaw and set the Synchro Zone. Because what are they going to do? Okay, they're just going to summon a monster, try to beat over it, and then you're going to Synchro Zone, and then they can't beat over it. So what are they going to do? They're just going to pass with nothing? No, they're going to special summon. So let's say they special summon a monster. Okay, keep in mind we have 1 Antjaw in hand already. But at this point, with the Naturia Antjaw on board, your Mole Cricket's an insect. So the moment he brings anything out, Mole Cricket. Now, since Antjaw's only 400 and this has 0 attack, almost guaranteed your opponent has the monster with the highest attack. So from there, you can Mole Cricket effect. And you can go Camellia and Sunflower. Then you can go Camellia effect to send your Sacred Tree. And then Sacred Tree will add your Blessing. From here, if your opponent activates a monster effect, then you would just send the top 2 from deck to grave. Medora, that's nice. Negate and destroy it. If they activate another one, then what you could do is you could either tribute this or Camellia. Keep in mind if they normal or if they do bring out anything else, you could bring back the Mole Cricket, or if you dumped another Naturia, you could special summon that. There's so much things that you could do with this. Next turn you'd have your Zephyr, but yeah, you see where this is going, right? This is more of a defensive, drain your resources type deck. Let's try again. If you guys are enjoying the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I love Genesys, and I'll definitely be doing another update for this deck profile. Alright, so we have Fruit Fly, Cricket, Blessing, Zephyr, and Vayne. It's not the end of the world. You know, I kind of want to play the more Vernisylph, just because if you draw any extra Naturia monsters that you don't want, you can just use them as discard fodder for your Vernisylphs. So I think I may do that. But essentially, this is the 1 card combo here. You would, let's say I don't have any of this, since this is irrelevant here anyway, most of the Mole Cricket effect would tribute to special summon Camellia. Camellia effect will send the Sacred Tree to grave. Sacred Tree will add Blessing. You'll activate Blessing, special summoning your Mole Cricket back. From there, you you Synchro Summon. Bring out your Naturia Beast. Once Naturia Beast is summoned, your Mole Cricket will activate again to special summon itself. And that's it. That is your basic combo, your 1-card combo. With Map, Foolish Burial of Goods, Cricket, Camellia, and all the other 2-card combos in this deck. Getting to this field is very, very easy. Going second, you would do things a little differently. So let's say you're going second, right? We'll do a going second cricket theory, which I haven't done this. This is off the top of my head here. So going second, let's say this is no interruptions, by the way. This is assuming Mole Cricket to summon 2. Okay. So more than likely your opponent has something here. So we go Camellia. I kind of want to summon Vayne, because I've been noticing a lot of decks, they be having back row. But something that you could do here, if I can find Vayne, of course, on the very top of my deck. This is not ideal, by the way. Normally you would want Flower, but I'm just thinking because it's a level 1 tuner, we could do something with this here. So Camellia effect would activate, sending the Sacred Tree. Sacred Tree would add your Blessing. Alright. We'll go Blessing to summon back the Cricket. We would go Beast. Cricket special summons itself. We would Synchro into Formula. Formula effect would draw us a card. So yeah, that's something that we could do right there. I mean, still, that's not too bad. And more than likely, you'll probably have a Blessing or something in hand to help give you an extra bit of oomph. And then, like I said, your Mole Cricket can come back. So, like, it's not even a big deal if Cricket isn't on your field, because the moment that they special summon a monster from their extra deck, then you're just going to bring it out on your opponent's turn anyway. You see? So, realistically here, this Formula Synchron, if you were to use this right and they were to summon something with over 2200 attack, then you could go Mole Cricket. We have our Formula Synchron, okay? So you gotta think, these are the synchro options here. And I'll just lay this out. These are the synchro options. If we wanted to, we could Black Rose on our opponent's turn right here. There we go, much better. If we wanted to, we could Black Rose on the opponent's turn, using Formula in this. If we go Cricket, normally with this I would go Antjaw and Stinkbug. Because if they try to attack over Naturia Beast, I'm just going to Stinkbug in the turn, or in the battle phase. If they summon anymore, then I'm going to bring out probably a Fruit Fly if I had to guess. If I had to pick, let's say they special summon one. Okay, I got Fruit Fly now. So now everything my opponent has loses 1200 attack and defense, since I have 4 Naturia monsters currently. And you see how this has changed the board dramatically. So I can go into a level 5. I can go into a level 8 and a level 7. I could go on a level 4 if I had one. I want to play Cupid Pitch. There's a few cards I could play off of Cupid Pitch. I've been cooking. Don't worry, I'm thinking about it. So if they attacked, we in the battle phase, more than likely, we don't want to nuke the board. We also could go in a 9 too, because 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9. Let's see, 7. Yeah, so we could go in Vermilion too. There's so much that you can do with this deck, guys. You see where I am. There's so much that you could do. You could overlay the stink bug too, if you wanted to. Overlay the stink bug and fruit fly on your turn. If you can't snatch steal a card, you could just overlay go into break sword and pop a card. There's quite a bit that you can do with this deck, and I genuinely feel like this is a strong contender. People do not expect it. They think that because it's 50 points, people ain't going to play it. But guess what? We are. So with that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed. I don't want to waste any more of y'all's time. Feel free to comment down below. Let me know what deck that y'all are playing this format. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.